Welcome to Best of Reddit. Let's dive right in. Am I the asshole for going to work after being told I needed to babysit, which meant my dad's wife had to cancel her appointment and be with my half siblings? This happened Saturday. I, 17-year-old male, was scheduled to work. On Thursday, Heather, dad's wife, told me I needed to call out Saturday because she had a doctor's appointment and someone had to babysit my half siblings, three of them 3 and under. I told her I wasn't calling out and she'd need to find someone else. My dad works Saturdays and he told me his job was more important than mine, and I didn't need to be so locked in on work and school that I ignore my family anyway, so I should call out of work and enjoy the day of being a big brother. I told him I wasn't doing that, and I'm going to work whether they like it or not. My dad left the house way early Saturday morning, and then Heather told me her appointment was for 9 and she was leaving at 8 so I would watch the kids. Instead, I skipped breakfast and left for work early and ate breakfast somewhere else. Heather was getting ready when I left. She tried calling me, but I kept walking lol. I got 10 calls from Heather before those stopped, and then around lunch, I got 5 calls and 4 texts from Dad saying I was supposed to babysit and did I realize I cost Heather her appointment. I ignored his calls and texts. I got home around 3 and Heather was yelling and cussing me out, saying I knew she had the appointment. My only response was she knew I wasn't calling out of work. She tried to take my phone, but I refused to hand it over. Dad got home around 7 and he was pissed too. He lectured me on leaving Heather without someone to babysit and on not taking the time to be there with my half-siblings. He told me I might not want to be with them, but as a member of the family and a member of the household, I owe it to everyone to contribute and to make time to help out. He said my half-siblings didn't deserve to be walked out on like that, and Heather didn't deserve to miss a doctor's appointment. Because I'm spiteful that he remarried and they want us to be a real family, he told me I need to start working on family relationships before I have none left. Then yesterday morning, they expected me to apologize or to act remorseful, but I'm not. I have zero regrets and I went to work as normal yesterday. The reason I focus so hard on work and school is I do not want to live with them a second longer than I have to. I'm saving to get out and go no contact, and I work every chance I get. My dad's aware of what I'm up to, but I don't think he really believes I'm serious about it, but I am. Am I the asshole? Hey, OP, skipping breakfast and bolting early to dodge the babysitting ambush? That's some next level family diplomacy. You're not the asshole. Prioritizing your job at 17 to build your escape plan is smart, not selfish. I threw my husband's breakfast on the ground. I need to know if I overreacted or not. I think it was deserved, but curious on what others think. Some background, I just had our second baby 3 weeks ago. We also have a freshly 2-year-old. My husband works a job with a pretty rigorous schedule. He works 12-hour shifts on a 2-on and 2-off schedule, and every other weekend. Due to his schedule, I have never once asked him to wake up with me during the night. I also do all of the housework and have been doing it all since I was only 2 days postpartum. He gets like 8 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep. I'm a full-time online college student. I also cook for him every day. I do all of the great wife things without complaint. I'm drained and exhausted, and I hardly have time to even eat, but I still carry on. This morning was his first day off after working 3 12-hour shifts in a row. I knew he was tired. We have an agreement that on days he is off, he will help me with the morning routine. The morning routine with a toddler and newborn is pretty rough, so it's nice to have help sometimes. I gently tried to wake him up this morning, but he wouldn't budge. I just accepted the fact he would be no help, so I just got up and did what I normally do. I have to feed and change my newborn, pump, dress my toddler, cook breakfast for my toddler, wash my pumps and bottles from the night, and pack my toddler's preschool bag. 20 minutes before we leave, I went into our room and said, "Hey, sweetie, we're leaving in 20 minutes if you want to come along." And he acknowledged me but turned over to go back to sleep. So 20 minutes go by and I leave because I have to get my toddler to school by a certain time. I plan to drop her off and then grab my husband's favorite breakfast and bring it home to him. 5 minutes into me driving, I get a call from my husband. I answer and he immediately is mad at me. He starts saying things like, "Why the F word would you leave without me? Why didn't you wake me up?" I respond with, "Why do I need to wake you up? You are a grown man." I also said, "I already have so many responsibilities on my plate, waking you up would just add to that." And to that he said, "Ugh, here we go." He was acting like all I do is complain about my responsibilities, but I never complain to him. Even when I'm running on empty, I never complain. He was just so mean to me. I can't even believe that was my husband on the phone. I don't normally get mad, but I was set off. I hung up the phone and put it on silent because I didn't want to hear it anymore. My toddler was also in the car listening, and I didn't want her to hear her dad talking to me like that. This obviously pissed him off. I drop off my toddler and I still go pick up his breakfast for him. I thought maybe he would realize how mean he was and apologize when I got home. Wrong. I get to our house and he comes outside to continue yelling at me. I simply responded with, "I got you breakfast." And he said, "At least you did that," with a snarky ass smirk. So I did something that I never would ever in a million years do. I closed the car door, rolled down the window, threw the breakfast bag on the ground, and said, "Eat expletive and expletive you." And I backed out quickly and left with our newborn. I'm currently sitting in a McDonald's with my newborn with angry tears running down my face. I haven't checked the messages he sent, kind of scared to. I have never said something like that to my husband, but something took over. The way he talked to me when all I do is make sure everyone is taken care of. I'm so upset. Did I overreact? OP throwing that breakfast like a mic drop? Epic exhaustion-fueled rebellion? And we feel you on the solo parenting grind. You're not an asshole. Your husband's the one dropping the ball here. Am I the asshole for not picking up my ex's daughter from school when I picked up our son? Ex cheated on me when I was pregnant with our son, 8, and because of this, he has a daughter, 8, with his affair partner, now wife. We are not on good terms, and I do not have a relationship with my ex's daughter. I have never spoken a word to her or spent any significant time in her presence. Ex and I split custody 50-50 of our son. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from the school during his custody time stating nobody had picked our son up from school and asking if I would. When I got to the school, my ex's daughter was also there, and the teacher was with her. She told me I was on the approved list for pickup for ex's daughter and would I take both kids. I said no, and I told her I did not want to be on the list as I would never pick the other child up from school. She told me she would pass the word along and it would be taken care of, and I had to call to follow up on this. My ex never told me he or his wife added me to the authorized pickup list for his daughter. When he realized I had not picked up his daughter with our son, he was furious. He asked me how I could leave her behind when I would have our son unplanned anyway. I told him via our parenting app that I picked up our son as I would always do if needed, but his daughter is not my child, and I will not be their emergency school pickup. According to him, my ex's daughter was there until 7 because I refused to pick her up with our son. She's a child, and I understand that's not ideal. I don't feel bad per se, but I wonder if I would be considered an asshole for being unwilling to do it this once. This is not something I want to be a regular thing, and it's the first time it ever happened. X's wife was apparently delayed out of town and X was working. Am I the asshole? Whoa, OP. Sounds like your ex's emergency planning is about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. Putting you on the list without a heads up? That's on them, not you. You're not the asshole for drawing that line with a kid who's not yours. Boundaries keep the peace.